What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over some of the content that you can expect to come to Fortnite over the course of Chapter 5 Season 1. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below what change you're most excited for, least excited for, most interested in, all of that down in the comments below. So I know a lot of players have been pretty burnt out, or just kind of, not necessarily burnt out, but as far as like how the game is currently, they've gotten their fill of it to an extent, and that's just very normal for new chapters that start in December. So both Chapter 3 and Chapter 4, we had start in December like how we had with Chapter 5. And so they start early December, and then over the course of December, we have the newness of the chapter, and then we also have Winterfest. But the Winterfest updates haven't been the greatest for the past few years. But either way, we have the newness of the chapter for most of December, so there aren't as many updates. And then Epic goes on break late December into early January, and so there aren't any updates for that time either. And then once we kind of get into like mid-January, late January, which is where we are now, that's when we start to see more content finally come into the game, and more updates finally come to the game. So this is completely normal. This is kind of just typically what happens around this time, not only because the chapter is new, so it doesn't get as many updates early on, but also because they have the holiday break. So I expect to see more updates coming soon, and we do actually have some expected dates on these updates, and that is going to be that 28.10, the first major update of Chapter 5, would be January 23rd. 28.20, the second major update, would be February 6th, and then 28.30 would be February 20th, and then Chapter 5 Season 2 would be March 8th. And if you guys have been around Fortnite for a while, you know we kind of have like the major updates, and then we have the minor updates, which is typically just like items added to the game that are already in the game, or like returning items. So like last week we had the lock-on pistol, the week prior to that we had the Enforcer AR and Flowberry Fizz. These are changes to the game, but they're not major updates, you know? So there will be like those mini content updates on the off weeks as well. That's typically how things go. So that would mean that the next major update would be next week. But this week, I think that we might be getting augments. So augments have been in the milestones tab of the game. There was a challenge that required you to use augments that got changed like last minute. It definitely seems like they're ready to go, and that they might not need an actual major update to release them because they're already in the game. And we do have a list of the first batch of augments we should be getting in Chapter 5. If you guys are new to the game, because I know I do have a lot of viewers that started playing in Chapter 5 or came back during OG, augments are like little mini bonuses or perks that you can get, and you can get 4 over the course of the game. You just get them at set stages in the game, and the way it works is you'll get to select one of 2 augments, and then if you don't like either of those, you can spend gold to re-roll it. And again, these are like nice little bonuses or perks, and I think we will end up seeing these this week, if not probably the week after in the first major update. And the augments that are currently leaked or rumored to be coming in Chapter 5 are going to be the Swift Combatant augment. You will gain increased movement speed while aiming down sights, reloading, and after downing enemies. Magazine munitions. You will receive ammo when reloading a weapon with a drum mag, and you will gain a rare weapon with a drum mag. Soothing Slap. You will gain slap energy after using a healing consumable. I think this sounds really good, especially because sprinting is just, or running at a sprint is really inconvenient on this map. So the more ways we have to trigger the slap effect, which gives you unlimited stamina for a period of time, could be really good. And I think this will work really well with the Flowberry Fizz item, because you can heal using a very short amount of time and a very minuscule amount of your healing item, and still get heals off of that. The Pinpoint P2X, enemies are revealed when hit by a weapon with a 2x sight, and you receive a weapon with a 2x sight. So this will mark players. If you guys have ever had one of the scanner NPCs that mark people, or captured the flag on island and it marks people nearby, it would highlight them like that anytime you hit them with a 2x sight. I think this will be really good in team game modes, and I think this will be really good with snipers, because if you body somebody with a sniper and everybody in your team knows like, hey, that person just got sniped, it's going to make it easier for y'all to focus those people down, or just know where they are if they do try to run from you. Agile Mending, you will reduce movement speed penalty for using healing items, so you'll move a little bit faster when using like your big pots, your Flowberry Fizz, medkits, whatever. Jump Time, you'll gain a super sprint jump every 20 seconds. This is going to be like soaring sprints, but it now has a cooldown. Laser precision, weapons with a laser mod deal slightly increased headshot damage, and you gain a rare weapon with a laser sight. Flowberry looter, you gain Flowberry fizz and a splash of Flowberry whenever you open any container. That splash of Flowberry sounds really good because like I assume it would be like when you use a Flowberry, like the item itself. So I would imagine you'd get 15 shield as well as the Flowberry effect. So if you go into a house, any containers you can open and get shield, that would be great. Rare riches, randomly receive numerous gold bars, a ballistic shield, or a grapple blade. I'm not really sure how this one will work because most items or most augments where you receive something, you get it right away. So I'm not really sure how the rare riches one is going to work out. Mini reward, you instantly gain minis and additional minis whenever opening any containers. This sounds like okay, but mini shields aren't the biggest deal this season. Big pots definitely seem better, or like the Flowberry fizz. Barrier breaker, weapons with the muzzle break deal increased structure damage, and then you gain a rare weapon with the muzzle break attachment. This sounds like it would be okay, especially in build mode. I could see this being really good, but even in zero build, using it to spray out, like break structures faster would be nice. And it's not like the muzzle break is an irrelevant attachment otherwise. Like it still reduces your recoil and it's still a nice weapon to have. Rifle refresh, ARs and snipers will instantly reload their mag whenever downing or eliminating a player. I think this sounds insanely good, especially if you're somebody who gets third parties or hates getting third partied. And one change that would be really nice is if they made the sniper only have one bullet in the mag and then you had to reload, because then it wouldn't be as spammable like it is now. But also if you had this augment and you were just getting headshot and being able to like get headshot after headshot and just keep your weapon loaded, I think that'd be really satisfying, and it would really reward people who are good with the sniper while also kind of like balancing it a little bit. The shield suppressor augment, weapons with suppressors deal increased damage to shields, and then you would gain a rare weapon with a suppressor. Shield breakaway, you gain the slap effect when your shield is broken. So whenever your shield is broken, you would be able to have unlimited sprint for a period of time, and this excludes the overshield. Shotgun sharpshooter, shotguns have reduced damage fall off at medium and long ranges. This sounds like it could be really good, but it depends how much it reduces it. But either way, like more range on a shotgun, it's going to add consistency to your shotgun and hopefully, you know, help you out. Shotguns are super important in Fortnite. Get rifted into the air whenever you swim over a fishing spot or stay in the water for 15 seconds. I actually think this augment would be quite good, especially because the center of the map has that lake area. And so you could kind of clear your POI, go to that rift, and then maybe look for a fight to land on. I think that augment would be pretty good. Storm Chaser, reduce the amount of stamina drained when tack sprinting, and then further reduce this while in the storm. First Assault, the first bullet in the mag of your AR deals bonus damage. We had this in Chapter 4, and I think it just made the ARs do extra shield damage, or maybe it was the first few bullets in the mag. It wasn't just the one bullet. This augment did not work as the way it was described in Chapter 4. The Icy Slide augment, gain Icy Slide boost when sliding. I never liked this one, but some people do. Light Fingers, weapons using light ammo reload faster. This is always a nice augment if you're using anything with light ammo, and this would kind of lead to an interesting choice with your attachments, because do you want to go speed mag and get an insanely fast reload with this augment, or maybe go drum mag and then use this augment to offset the reload penalty that drum mag adds to your weapon? Aquatic Warrior, you swim faster and then regenerate HP and partial shield while in the water, unless you're in the storm, and the partial shield is that your shield would regen up to 50. Shotgun Recycle, shotguns have a chance to not consume ammo. This was really good in Chapter 4 with the Exotic Maven. It would be nice now for sure, but I don't know how big of a deal that would be, because we do have like 8 bullets on the Frenzy Auto, I think is fine. And then if you have the drum, it's 12, but you know, more ammo is always going to be nice in those like sketchy situations. So a lot of these augments sound really good, especially the ones that affect attachments and the ones that can potentially stack, because we have the shield suppressor, where weapons with suppressors deal increased damage to shield. And then we have laser precision, where weapons with a laser deal increased headshot damage. So if you have both laser and shield and hit a headshot, you could end up doing some like pretty ridiculous damage to people's shields. And that might get kind of crazy, but that's kind of just how augments are. A lot of these augments do sound really good, and it doesn't sound like there's very many that would just be like terrible to have. There are also new weapon mods that could be coming to the game, along with a new category of mod called amps. The amps are automatic fire, crit damage multiplier, flaming bullets, and an effect that will restore your stamina when shooting enemies. We don't really know how these amps are going to work, but they sound pretty busted. And so I would expect them to be harder to get or more expensive to get, or maybe it's just like a random chance. I think it's going to be more extra than like how we have with the current attachments. And then the automatic fire one kind of confuses me, because I think a lot of people will hear that and think the gun automatically shoots when you look at somebody, but I think of it more as like making a single shot weapon fully auto, but we don't really have any single shot weapons in the game right now. There's like the pump and the bolt action sniper, but those aren't really single shot in the way that like a DMR is. They're they like have that penalty. So I don't know how that is going to work at all. It's also new weapon barrels, including muzzle breach, long barrel, fire barrel, and triple barrel. Triple barrel, I don't know what that would be. Maybe like it makes it 3-round burst. And then the long barrel, I would assume increased range. Fire probably lights people on fire. And then the muzzle breach, I really don't know. That makes me think of like the pointed like muzzle that people will often have on shotguns for like breaching doors and stuff, but I don't really know how that would apply to Fortnite at all. The mag attachments are also kind of confusing. There's the overload mag, which I would imagine makes it to where your gun has a larger magazine, but you can't reload. You kind of have to use it like an energy weapon, whereas if you shoot it too much, it overheats and then you got to wait for it to cool down. And there's also extended mag and quick mag, which just sound like attachments we already have. So I wonder if some of these attachments aren't actually coming to the game, and it's like things they initially had planned and then they just renamed later down the line. And then for weapon underbarrels, there is a speed foregrip. And again, that kind of sounds like angled foregrip, where it makes you ADS faster. Maybe this would make it to where you move faster or move faster when aimed on sight. But some of these attachments are kind of questionable. A bit of the snow should be melting on the map and making it to where the only mountains on the left side of the map are the only places where it's snowy. I'll have a picture of it on screen now. This was from a blog post, but I think you can also see this at the train stations on the map. If you go to any of those train stations and look, there's like a picture of the map, and I believe that the snow on the train station map does not currently line up with how the snow is in game. I'm not sure if they changed that, but I know early on in the chapter, people were saying that the snow was going to melt based on seeing that. There's also some new mechanics that we may see, and these are going to be car hijacking and rope swinging. With car hijacking, you'll be able to steal cars from enemy players. This mechanic has a cooldown, it can be canceled, and it can also fail if the driver takes sharp turns or goes too fast. I don't really know how useful this will be, because you can already just get in enemy cars and then use that to pressure them out of the car. So I don't know if maybe they're going to change it to where you can't get in cars with an opponent, or if this will just be an added option. With rope swinging, you'll be able to swing from fixed ropes and chandeliers on the map. Think of it kind of like how we've had zip lines in the past, or the light zip lines currently on the island, where like there's like lights you can stand on. We've also had like grind rails, so I would imagine the rope swinging would kind of work like that. And then there's also rope rappelling, where you can climb up ropes that you find on the map. This also sounds like the zipline extenders we have now, where there's like some at Snooty Steps, I think, and then also like the ones you use to get on top of island. Don't really know how this will differ from that. Maybe it's like slower but quieter or something along those lines. But both of these mechanics just kind of sound like not that big of a deal to me. Like the car hijacking sounds cool in theory, but I don't know how big of a deal that'll be. And then same thing with like the rope swinging and rope rappelling. Some collabs that we may see soon are a Ninja Turtles Part 2 collab, which could include an event pass, a mythic item, and supply drops, similar to what we had with Dragon Ball or the My Hero Academia, a new landmark, the pizza party item, returning. But this could just be like scrapped content, or like a way that they initially thought the Ninja Turtles collab was going to be, and then it just kind of worked out differently into what we had already. So I could go either way on that. Like the information people have on this could just be early prototypes or like early ideas that didn't get used, or it might be a stage 2 for Ninja Turtles. It would not be the first time at all that we've seen like stage 2 or like second versions of collabs come to the game. I mean, we've seen it with Dragon Ball. I believe like My Hero Academia has had several as well. There's also rumors of an Avatar collab and a Devil May Cry collab. And this was leaked by the same person who leaked Doomslayer and Ninja Turtles before there was really anything in the game to suggest that those were coming to the game. And I believe Devil May Cry is a Capcom game, which is, they also make Resident Evil and Street Fighter, I believe. So we've had some of their, games in Fortnite already, so it wouldn't be too surprising to see other games or other like IPs from them. And then I also wouldn't be surprised if we got more Family Guy skins added to the game. because that's just typically what happens when we have a collab in the battle pass. We'll see like other characters from that collab come to the game and then go into the item shop rather than being a part of the battle pass. It's happened a lot with Spider-Man in Chapter 3 Season 1. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it again. But that is going to be it for this video, and for a lot of the content that we should be seeing come to the game in Chapter 5. There will also be a lot of stuff that wasn't talked about in this video. A lot of the way leaks happen is there's stuff in the game already that isn't added until a future update. So when the next major update comes, there will be even more like leaks and stuff like that. So a lot of this is just stuff that it's in the game, but it's not in the game as far as it being playable yet. But if you guys enjoyed this, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, comment down below which change you are most excited to see, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.